Titan Z here, back for another video review. This time going to be reviewing Transformers Fall of Cybertron Generations Voyager Class Soundwave. Yes! Had this guy for a while. I've held off on doing the review kinda because I wanted to make sure, one, I also had Soundblaster and Blaster. It is Soundblaster, right? Yes, Soundblaster. That is correct. Just making sure I got the name right. But yes, this is his Voyager mode, his communications truck. Really don't see how this is a communications truck without a, antenna dish. Unless that's an antenna dish. Which, if it is, it fires missiles too. And I know it fires missiles. I saw it in G1. It also can be turned into a pseudo cassette form. This is what I keep Soundwave and Soundblaster in when I want them in this kind of pseudo form. I actually set up Blaster in a much different capacity, and I'll show you that during Blaster's review. I am not going to review every cassette because the last few times I've tried to review this figure, besides having insects decide to fly into my shot randomly, trying to add those into the review was just taking too much time, and I still only have a 15-minute time limit. So, with that regards, I will show you the two that Soundwave and Soundblaster come with, which are Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. Now, these guys kind of transform like a Bakugan. And if you don't know what a Bakugan is, turn your Otaku card into the dumpster on your way out. But yeah, pretty much, instead of throwing a Bakugan on a card with a little piece of metal in it, here, you press a button on the back, and it automorphs into a bird. Or condor. I've never understood why they always thought this was supposed to be a condor, when the original one always kind of more reminded me of an eagle than a condor. Unless you had the head kind of turned like this on the old G1 one, on the old G1 mold. These two transform the exact same way. They're pretty much the same except for the colors, and I think some of the data disk lines, circuit lines, I have no idea. I don't really look at that much detail. The only thing these two are kind of missing is paint on the eyes. I don't care about Decepticon symbols. I don't care about the painting of their vents on their backs. 4 splashes of paint for eyes. Hasbro, are you that cheap? Moving on. Yeah, this is his vehicle mode. I like it. For those who already have the deluxe mode like me, my reasonings for getting this is because, as much as I like that one, I like the beefiness of this one. It feels more Soundwave. I don't know why. It also, his robot mode is a lot more well-handled, unlike the deluxe one, which its cow catchers make him look pregnant. Clicky joints. The music of every Transformer fan next to the G1 theme. Yes. A very well done transformation, in my opinion. And for once, unlike in past versions of Transformers, a gimmick that is not intrusive. For the most part. I'll explain that in a second. The only trouble I've ever had with any of these molds is the hands. Getting them out of there can be a pain in the butt. Now, I don't know if I've said this in the past, but Soundwave is one of my favorite Transformers. Reason being is that, well, at least in my headcanon of Transformers, Soundwave rules the Decepticons, not Megatron. Soundwave makes sure that Megatron stays the figurehead that kind of rules with an iron fist, while Soundwave stays in the background, controlling everything, well, from the background. That's just my idea, just because I still think he's such a cool Transformer. And this robot mode is awesome. Now, a few people have complained about his shoulder cannon missile launcher not being blue, but given how much blue is already on the figure, particularly in the chest, I think it would just get lost in a sea of colors. Having that gray kind of breaks everything up. He also has a really great chess piece that replicates not only the video game, but the G1. And if you can see, thanks to my way I film, there are little sound speakers behind that glass. That's awesome. And yeah, the Decepticon symbol gets a little lost thanks to the purple tinting, but still, it is pretty awesome. Now, the gimmick is pretty cool, and one of the cool things about the molding is he has a finger molded specifically for replicating the old G1 trick of him launching his discs. I love that. That's definitely a nod to the fans. Now, these data discs pretty much fit in his chest. Now, I have heard of problems in the past of having to shave down certain parts on the inside, that they're not cut well and it catches the figures. Haven't had that problem on Soundwave as much, or Soundblaster. May have that problem on Blaster. But then again, I don't put these guys in the chest all that often. Now, you can fit up 3. With Soundwave, it's the easiest. The others are a little harder. But you can get 3 to fit in there. And this little plunger gimmick in the back is what pushes him forward. Now, it fits just well enough with Laserbeak by himself that it doesn't really look like he has that much of extended back. And you just press the button and fire Laserbeak out. And the cool thing is, that plunger, instead of just being a blank piece of plastic, they actually went and molded a bunch of details in there. There is a screw hole, but what you gonna do? I really do love this figure. That's why I've picked up not only this one, also Soundblaster and Blaster. Just because I just think it's a more superior mold than the deluxe one we got for War for Cybertron. This is also an easy way for fans not only to get all of the cassette bots for Decepticons and Autobots, but also a chance for a lot of fans who can't afford to find a G1 Soundblaster to get a Soundblaster. I've looked up. A G1 Soundblaster is expensive. I mean, my God. So, yeah, with this, you've got an easy and cheap way of getting not only Soundwave, but Soundblaster on the cheap. And these two just look amazing together, and I'm so glad I picked these up. And for anyone who is a little bummed that he doesn't come with a hand weapon, I know it's not his G1 weapon, but take the shredder launcher from Kickback, give it the Soundwave. Why? The disc matches his wheels color, and and I do believe in the video game he's a destroyer class, I think. Yeah, I think he's a destroyer class, the leader class, essentially. And these guys get to use weapons like this. So with that, yeah, that's kind of awesome. So, yeah. But still, great figure. If you can still find one, I recommend picking him up for the gimmick alone, because it works so well. At least with Soundwave. He also has, a flatter chest, like I've said. It looks a lot better. I think it handles the wheels a little bit better. He's got a pretty decent back. When you get the back compressed up all the way back, he doesn't have that much of a backpack, and just with one disc, even then, it's not that bad. So, yeah. I really do like it. Like I said, if you can find this one, or if you want a cheap Soundblaster, because you can't afford a G1 Soundblaster, that's an option too. But until next time, this is Titan Zed saying, I'll see ya when I see ya.